Okay, so today we're going to talk about filters, or the filter for this fish tank project, more exactly. I've been playing around. I kind of wanted the idea of, let me show you, of this. Oh, let's bring it. Of this, where you'd have bubbles coming out of this tube. And we got this. We're able to get this bubble, but I so far have not gotten little bubbles, which is what I want. And that would be doing something more like, the idea of this is it would eventually end up modeling something like this sponge filter. And I think visually I kind of like it, although a lot of people think it's kind of ugly. I think the little bubbles would have added something to the animation, but I have not succeeded in this as of yet. So I decided that we're going to go and we did successfully do this, where we have water kind of flowing into the tank by using, let me see, I'll show you towards the end because I want to get into the filter, but we were able to include this with the water, and we talked about this last week. So it'd be this kind of flow, but obviously you need something around it, and that's where the filter comes in. And the idea I got was from this, which in fact I just ordered today, because I was not happy with the original filter that I purchased. It's just not working out for me the way I'd like it to. And so I went with this one after some debating between this one and the one I was just showing. So I'm going to try to model something similar to this. So if you're into fish and you have any questions about this, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer or point you to someone who can. But at any rate, here's what I got so far. And let's see if I could, what's this thing doing? Okay. I always forget with this, which is the one. Go. So you can see what I got so far. And just like the one, this would be like the little split that you would put over the tank. And the idea is, I don't know if there's a picture. Basically, this part here goes in the tank. This part here goes in the back. Obviously, this is just a rough approximation at this point. I want to see what more I can do, see how good my modeling skills might be on this. But the idea is this is going to be cut out to some extent. This is where I'm going to stick it on top and move the water flow. So what it's going to look like is this, except it's going to be, it's going to look like it's coming out of here. So at any rate, that is the plan for the filter right now. So let's talk about what I did. I created a new project, created a geo, and I took a box here, and I took a group of, let's see if we can see that group. You can see of the back, which I want to extrude down. And this could have been done after I did the poly extrude, actually, but it worked out. And then I transformed, made it the right size, did my poly extrude from my group. Let's look at this node. So all I did is I gave it a group and then I gave it a distance and pulled that down. I took another group, which is for this front part, and I may extend it. This looks like it's a little, maybe needs another another couple of, let's see. Yeah, this looks like it may need another couple of items here. But you get the idea. And then I extruded this right here. And that's that little front. And that gave me my basic shape. What I did is then we got this basic shape here. As you can see, maybe this is a little longer, but we got a basic shape here. Yeah, I think it is. And what I did is I created a tube. I transformed it. And, you know, on this transform, the Y translate. There's something in Houdini, if you're not that familiar, called relative references, where I can reference this based on the location of this bottom here. Let's go back to this poly extrude 2, based on this right here. So basically what I can do is if I change this, it's going to change this value here because it's going to be relative to the item, the bottom of this. Now, then let's go here. Let's actually look at it. I did a thicken to give it some depth. And then I merged these two together. And we have the basic outline of the filter. Now, obviously, what we need is we need to model this part where we're going to stick the water coming out, you know, and do some more here and see. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but I want to get something looking a little bit more, not so just this block. Obviously, I haven't beveled anything, and this one has little, you know, adjustments here, and so may want to put those in. And I'll be able to see it better once I have it here in person, and I can actually have a look at it. But this is a general idea. You have the water then coming out of here, and you're going to get a nice little water movement. Let me go back before we finish up. So you can see we get the nice little water movement here, and it's on 63. Let me show you some. See, you can focus on that. Where you go, you see here. Okay, this is the tube where the water is going to come out. When it's joining in the flip sink. Remember from last time, the flip sink is you can have a sink or a sauce. This is actually going to be a sauce, and it's going to flow water down. The collider, of course, is what's colliding. So we're going to add, when we have the filter, we're going to add it in here. I'll merge it in with the other things we want to collide. Anything that we want to collide with the water. is going to go in this merge, or is going to be merged in and put in this all together into this collision item input. So here's our flip solver, and you can see this is the water moving with the box down internally. This is the block that is moving across the top, and this is going to be our water that's coming in. Let's see if we can get it to do something. You can see it's moving, and so it's going to waterfall, just kind of like how it would work with a real filter. But of course we don't have the filter around it, so it just looks like water. But that's the general idea, the general approach that I'm going to take here. And this has been a little tricky because you have to get realistic water movement. Obviously, once we replace the blocks with, models of fishes, and I'll probably have to, I don't know if I'm going to do them in Cinema and then model them in there, or in ZBrush, and then do the animation in Cinema, which is, has a pretty good system for animating things like people, birds, fish, animating objects. Or when I say objects, I don't know what you call it, doing character animation. Now, they have a system in Houdini as well that I have not looked at. I think it's called ClineFX or something like that. And it's possible to do it in that. If I make fishes and bring them in and merge them in, as I mentioned with the filter and the boxes and so forth, they should interact with the water as one would expect. So it may not matter where I actually model and animate the fishes in the end. So that's kind of where we are. I guess this is a little shorter one, but I wanted to show you how I started modeling something that's going to look like, actually based on a real filter, a very popular filter, and why I'm going that route for now. Now, the truth is, if I figure out how to get really nice looking little tiny bubbles going up, I can also put in the model of the sponge filter, and that's not unrealistic. People will run both in the same tank, so that might add a little interest. But and in terms of gravel, I've been looking at how they do grains in Houdini, and I'm thinking that can work very well. So that would be, because we need something, obviously if you have a fish tank, you need something in the bottom. The other tricky thing could be plants. How can I model a plant in Houdini? Again, maybe I can model it in Cinema and bring it in, have it a collision object with the water. That might be another way. That's another possibility. So anyway, this is starting to become an interesting project here, a bit challenging. So if you want to see how things progress, of course, subscribe, because then you'll get notified when I post the next part of this. And I will speak to you next time. Take care.